I think we are live now. Anyway, let's just see when it comes live on the
Okay.
on the web, as it were, just to make sure that we are going.
We
Oh,
should.
there we go. We seem to be going.
Yeah.
Well, it's gone dark anyway.
Oh. Well, I reckon that must be about 20 seconds worth now live now, on it. Okay.
Yeah,
Morning.
Morning. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Raconteurs News on this auspicious occasion. We have been on for a bit, as you know, and we just thought we'd come on tonight and just give you a little bit of an update of what's going to be coming up in the next few months and what we're going to be trying to achieve, and of course what we've been doing, what's been happening. Because I've just been in fucking hospital and it's a fucking rain mess. As usual, Ade's with me. Good evening, Ade. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thanks. Thank you very much, Lee.
Have you had a good week?
Yeah, kind of one of them weeks where, well, I like always. It's not that I don't like my job. I do actually like my job. I just don't like the fact that I've got to do any job.
Right, okay. Well, that's fucking usual. That was me. I worked another one as well. It does seem a bit fucking stupid that we spend our lives working and fucking leave so little at the end to enjoy our lives. I'm perhaps fortunate that I don't work now, so
well, I wouldn't call you fortunate, given that a week ago you didn't know which operation you were going to have, whether you're going to keep your leg, not keep your leg. What? So you better start telling people what's actually happening.
Well, like I say, I had this operation booked on. I went into hospital last Monday, a week ago on Monday, and I got the operation on the Tuesday. So, what they did is they missed it Tuesday, and told me that it was cancelled on Tuesday. So I were a night in hospital for fuck all. Then the following day, they told me it was cancelled again. And so then they said to me, we'll definitely do it tomorrow, but you can go home tonight if you want. And what we'll do is we'll pretend you're still here. So you go home for tonight, go and have a quick kiss and a cuddle with your wife, and go and sit and watch something on TV, and then be back here at 7 a.m. So that's what I did. And that was on the day.
Can I just ask for a pause at that point?
Yeah, of course you can.
Because how many years ago must it be? God, 15 years ago, more maybe. Yeah, gotta be. Maybe more. No, more than that. 20 years ago. I worked for at that time an insurance company, and the office that I was working out of was in Rotherham, and I was I think my official title was the assistant branch manager. Anyway, one day I'm up in the office trying to sort a load of paperwork out, and one of the girls came in and said, "There's a strange man downstairs asking to see you, and he's very insistent." And I'm thinking, an insistent man downstairs? So I went running downstairs, and at the bottom of the stairs was you, Jason.
Yes, I remember that, yes.
And I'm thinking, fucking hell, Jason looks a bit rough. What's he been up to? Hey, mate, how you doing? I've escaped. And that was the day that Jason escaped from the, was it a mental unit?
It was Nut House, yeah. It was
Nut
House. I was trying to get out. Well, I'll tell you what I was trying to do.
Was it 20? It must be 20 years ago, Jason.
Oh, yeah, God, easy. It's easy because my daughter had been born. I remember my daughter had been born then.
That's right.
22 years ago, I think. I think we were at the same time. So when I came out of hospital on Monday this year, Monday this week? Yeah. I came out of hospital on Monday.
Lost days.
It was the 26th of November, which was the day that I had my first heart attack 22 years ago.
Good God.
So it's weird, isn't it, that our things go and come around. So
yeah. So that you kind of telling us that they were going to pull the curtains around and and pretend to all the other stuff that you were still there, but you could nip home and have a night in your own bed.
Which helps
Kind of reminded
immensely.
me of that day when I came down, and I've got my mate who's at the bottom of the stairs on a busy work day in clothes that were kind of a cross between sweatshirts and pajamas and plimsolls or slippers or whatever, who's telling me
I don't even know how I knew you worked there, to be fair.
And to be honest, to this day, I don't either. Yeah, and you'd escaped.
Well, you see, what the thing were, right? I'd done this ruse. I needed to stay out of. I'd got done for driving whilst disqualified. I got done twice, which I think it's same day.
In the same day?
I got caught, in the same day I got caught twice. So I thought they're going to end up putting me in fucking prison. So I pretended I'd got this fucking disease. My grandmother had fucking dementia, and she'd paranoid schizophrenia. So I pretended I'd got that, so that then they could say he's got paranoid schizophrenia and all this, and when he went to court and everything. But the whole ward of people, they were just shagging each other, and then they were all fucking off out on town for neat art. They'd come back and they'd be all pissed up on ward and everything. God, that was so many years ago. I can't believe you can remember it.
Yeah, it was. I don't know that bit there where you told us about pulling the curtains down. Anyway, so the next morning you come back.
Well, actually, if I go back to that day, before I go home, I'd got some consultants and stuff coming around, and they came round, and there were 3 of these consultant guys and all these interns and students and all this sort of stuff, and they all come around, and they stood there and they're talking about me, as you know, as they do. Mr. Stones is a really difficult case. He's got antiphospholipid syndrome, and it's a really dark, difficult case. And anyway, they started talking to me about what we were going to do, and they said, well, what we are going to do is, if we can't do anything with the blood flow, it'll mean an amputation. And I said, well, a lower knee, below knee amputation, or above knee. And he said it'll be above knee amputation. So I said, well, I'd prefer you started with a below knee amputation. And they said, well, you're leaving yourself open to some more surgery if that don't go right, and there's a chance that it won't heal right, the injury. I says, well, look, I'll take that. A chance that I'm going to have to come back in for another operation, I'll take that, to keep bottom of my leg and to be able to walk at some point. But anyway,
so let me just get this straight. So their reason was to avoid a further surgery.
To avoid further surgery, that they were going to chop it off above knee, because then they knew that there were decent, good blood flow there, whereas down below my knee, they weren't such good blood flow.
But what they weren't saying was, listen, if this don't work, there's no chance at all. What they were saying was, in order to avoid another surgery, we're just going to take your leg off above your knee anyway.
Yeah. That's essentially what they said. It would be another surgery. To possibly be another surgery for me. They told me that the chances that they'd be able to do anything with my foot were around about 5%. They said the 5% chance of it working. So anyway, I went home that night, come back to hospital on the Thursday, and that morning they did it. They did the operation. So I was in for 6 hours, I think. And I remember thinking to myself, well, I'm not that bad. I'm not that pissed off that it got cancelled twice, because when I got back on ward, they were telling people their operations had been cancelled because mine had took all fucking day. Whereas normally it takes about half an hour, but it took 6 hours.
Wow.
So, but the good news was that they got some blood actually into me, and they got some flow into my lower foot. So it's still on. So it's still on. There you go. It's
the thing that I've always got wrong about what you've got is that I thought it was your veins that were narrow, and it's not. It's your blood that's sticky, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. My blood just clots at no for no. So. Yeah, but good. I mean, we're talking about all fucking that. I've got to say that was the only decent thing about me staying in hospital. My stay in hospital was the fact that they got it right. That's the only reason that I put up with this shit, because it is crap. the level of care after you've had an operation like that, it's the whole thing, and I'm not blaming the people that work there. It's the whole system that's just absolutely fucking knackered. You can see it round you. I remember saying to one of the nurses, I said, I had my leg amputated on this ward last year. I said, I can notice a tangible difference between then and now. Then you've got more people, more staff. There were never a time when there weren't a nurse on ward or in your bay. There were never a time, a nurse or two. But now there weren't anybody there. Nobody was there. Nobody was there at night. And God, what the one night I remember it. And I heard one at nurses on phone, and it were in between taking my headphones off. I got all my curtains around. I weren't fucking having any of the fucking smelly bastard fucking staring at me off. Oh, just one of them things that I just don't like in hospital, is having my curtains open and somebody across from me who's just laid there waiting for God and just constantly staring at me. So I had all curtains around, and I heard this nurse on phone, and this nurse was saying, I heard her say, has she got a DNR? Which I'm assuming were a do not resuscitate.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
Yeah, and I'm only getting half of this conversation, but she's asking the nurse to try to get the relatives to have a DNR on this particular patient. I don't know anything about patient. I don't know anything about whether she should have been resuscitated or not, or I don't know. But it would just seemed like everything that needed to be said to you seemed to be negative. Like they were negative about when they were going in. They were negative about be able to do anything. They were negative about being able to do my knee. If an amputation were required, then
above the knee,
above the knee. It just seemed as though it's weird. I get into this routine when I'm in hospital, and I have all curtains around me, and I've got the way I sleep is I've got it's an old army method. Not that I've been in the army, but I just learnt it. And you put it over your head, over your eyes, tie it behind the back of your head. Your ears are covered and your eyes are covered, but you can breathe. So I had that all. I was doing that. I have this way. I switch off. I just go into because it's like pills arrive on your desk, on your the little table you got. You take them and you feel like you're inside like a circle of just there's no else going on apart from these pills that are going down you. Someone will come and look at you every now and again. But what really fucking pissed me off is that ward, which is Firth 2 in Northern General, and when I'm saying any of this, it's nothing against the actual staff that work on the face, because
I know what you mean.
I think they deserve far more money than some fucking dickhead that kicks a fucking ball of wind around. And I never thought I'm a football fan. I never thought I'd ever fucking say up like that, but it's fucking true. But the problem they've got is that the ward that I was on, the vascular ward. Now, if you're really old, and it's because you're it's all age related. What's gone on with you, and but if you're young, usually you were a drug addict.
To end up in the back ward, right? Okay.
Yeah. So you were a drug addict. So because I do remember when they were taking me up on my bed, when they were taking me up to be operated on, they were cadet porters talking, and I said to him, I said, I didn't do this. This is not self-inflicted. This, I've got a syndrome that makes my blood sticky. So that's what with that, and that's what is with it. Oh no, we weren't. I said, I know. I'm just saying because that's how I feel about it. You know, every you think everyone who was in here who's pretty young, under 50, shall we say, which I just about am, is a drug addict or something like that, or has been, and because of that, any like oromorph, anything like that, you had to take it in front of him. Which didn't bother me, but there were one particular. It was, I think it's the night before I came home. There was one particular night, and I'm in my bed, and nurse comes in with at 10 o'clock with me 10 o'clock meds, and she puts them on the thing, and she says, "I need to see you taking them." I said, "You what?" I said, "Have you seen how many there is?" I said, "I usually get me meds at 10 o'clock, and it takes me about half an hour to consume them all. Because if I don't if I do that, then if I have them all at once, it'll make me sick." And so she insisted. So I took them all at once, and then 10 minutes later I was puking. So they all fucking came up, and it was just a complete and utter. Simply because I was younger than 50 and I was on that ward, and she'd not seen me before and assumed that I was some sort of junkie.
Well, she obviously didn't know about that reflex thing that you've got in your throat.
Yeah, acid reflux. Yeah, I get reflux.
I just need to explain to people who've never heard this little ditty. Jason and I went down to Stoke-on-Trent to... was it the British Constitution Group? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, BCG, yeah.
Yeah, BCG meeting. Now, Jason had been DJing till like 3 a.m. I'd been DJing till 4 o'clock in the morning. And we actually got up at 6 o'clock in the morning to be back on the road for 6:30 to drive down to Stoke, to go to the BCG meeting, to stay there all day, to drive back, to then go and work all night in a nightclub again. And when we got there, we were both starving hungry. So we just paid for this extortionately priced breakfast in the hotel. It was something like 12 quid. Ridiculous, but there you go. And I just got his big plate full. Jason sat straight across from me, cut a sausage in half, put it in his mouth, and then puked all over my breakfast. Because he's got this reflux thing that sometimes means that he can't help it. He just throws up. It's just not normally all over my breakfast. I probably picked this plate, put it on the clean table next to ours, and then went back and got some more, as did Jason, because he'd also puked upon his own breakfast. And then the poor old waitress came and said, "Who's left this?
Who's left this breakfast here?
They've gone." And she went, and Jason says, "I know it's a terrible waste, that, isn't it?" So yeah, and I do know all about your vomiting. Yes. So you don't all these tablets. She'd made you sit and take them, even though you warned her, and then you puked up everywhere. Great.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. When I told nurses next morning, they said, "Well, she don't know you. First time she's seen you." And I thought, well, first time you've seen me, first impressions is not just to look at me in with suspicion that I'm getting me. But I found out these drugs. It's funny that actually, because I said to one at I think he was ward manager. But anyway, when I was leaving, a really nice gay kid like her, and he's going, "Oh, I'm really sorry for all this." I says, "It's all right." He says, "It's just that we have to have all these extra things in place because this drug's it's a controlled drug." I said, "Oh, what do people do with it?" And she says, "Well," he says, "Well, people snort it or mix it with something, and it gives them a high like heroin, apparently." And I says, "Well, so how much are they going for?" He says, "Well, the 20 quid for 100 milligrams, and a tenner for 50 milligrams." And I've gone home with a box of 100 and a box of 50s, and I'm thinking to myself, every time I take them, I think this is 30 quid down there. Yeah. It's fucking It's but it weren't just that. There were tons and tons of stuff.
Come on, let's have this rant, because yesterday when I spoke to you, you'd come out of hospital and everything, and you were, I've got to have a rant about NHS, and I've actually got a couple of bits I want to chuck in as well, but go on. I just want to hear you. I want you to get it off your chest, mate.
Well, I did just little incidences, just things that just people just aren't thinking. But right, I said to them, I said, look, I have anxiety and I have my curtain around me all the time. Right, they were fine with that. Fucking fine. No, they were fine with that. No problem at all. Everybody who came anywhere near, I never had any problem. Nobody wanted me to have my curtains open, or you know, if I didn't want to, and fine. So there we go. So curtains are fucking shut. One night, I go to sleep and I must have, because I hardly slept in there. Because it's fucking nuts. There's a cunt in corner who keeps smoking. He's got a fag in one hand. This is at knee. This is right at knee, and you hear fucking kerfuffle going off. He's got a fag in one hand, and he's got his fucking nebulizer in other. So he's, and he's fucking smoking in corner like it's just normal.
Had he got his oxygen switched on?
His oxygen were on lot. He had everything all lot. And all I didn't, because I'd got my headphones on. All it were for me were just like some background noise, and they were telling me the next day what had gone off and everything, and just fucking weird. That bloke across fucking across but one fucking dropped. Well, D didn't need one knee, so he had to get fucking removed. And then they put a kid in there who'd been on ward for quite a while, but they shifted him anyway onto there. And I told him that the fucking bloke had just died on it, and so he made him change fucking bed. But the fucking honestly, this one night, so I'm knackered. I must have got to sleep early hours in the morning, say 4 or 5 or whatever. So I get to sleep, and I wake up, and I'm waking up, and I can see a clock on it. It's 9:30, and I thought, fucking hell, it's 9:30. They've let me sleep in all this time, and I thought, why can I see the clock? So I looked up, and they've opened my fucking curtains fully, right? Opened my curtains all fully. I'm laid on this fucking bed, stark bollock naked, with my fucking stump and my mini stump on fucking show, and I'm sat there stark bollock naked. I said, what's going on? Who's opened my curtains? Oh, we've opened them because we need to keep an eye on you. Fuck off, keep an eye on me. Look at me. I went fucking nuts, honestly. I went absolutely fucking nuts. I were in a rotten mood. Danielle rang up and I went, what? And then I had said to her, I'm sorry, it's just that these cunts have just fucking really wound me up. It's a fucking joke. It's an absolute joke what's going on in there. They told me, listen to this. They told me, as they always do, bring all your medicines in the boxes, and we'll so that we know what you're on and your doses and all this sort of shit. So what we did. We got like a bag full of medicines.
In your bag for life.
In bag for life. And 10 minutes after we handed them over, they came over and asked them if we'd seen them because they'd lost them.
What?
They'd lost them. Me bag of drugs. They'd lost a lot.
Did they find them again?
No, they didn't find them. I don't think they didn't give me back. I didn't get them back when I come out. So I've had to stock up and get everything fucking done. It's took me 2 days. It's like more stress. You've got to be stresses. Even if you're ill, you've got to be fucking stressed.
My God. Right. Go on. Yeah. Next.
It's fucking then I find out I'm on this ward, and I didn't know, but someone told me afterwards that they've started chucking any old shit on that ward now. Well, I found out the kid in the next bed to me has been fucking shot. He'd been shot on Arborthorne on fucking week before, and I'm thinking to myself, fuck, what if they come and fucking try and finish him off? Yeah. If they come in. There's his bed, and then there's a couple of others, but there's his bed, and then there's my bed.
So you can't exactly like jump out and run away, can you?
Yeah, well, no. And if they miss him, oh, they're going to be fucking getting me, aren't they? So
Well, they're not going to shoot you in your other leg, are they?
oh, well, fucking Jesus Christ. So, you know, and I'm thinking, I kept telling people, and he kept disappearing. This kid, he kept disappearing off, going off. Then in the bed where the dead. See, this is why I have curtain around, because the people that are in there, if they talk to you, and then you can't fucking just go, oh yeah, okay. By the way, you've lost me interest and shut fucking curtains, can you?
By the way, boring bastard. Bye bye.
Yeah, fucking thanks for the life story, but I didn't quite need it. But you know, it'll do. And so there's in the bed. It was one afternoon, and in the bed where this kid who'd been shot were, he'd fucking gone off. I think he'd gone off home for a day or something. But anyway, he had a visitor, and he had a visitor, and she were a black lass called Serena, because I knew that because she told me afterwards. If he comes back, tell him his cousin Serena's been to see him. So black lass Serena. So she's come toward. I said, if you try and telly room, he might be in TV room. So she went and had a look in there and come back, and he weren't. So I said, well, just hang about. He'll be back at some point. It must have been about 5:45 or something like that. And he didn't come back until fucking after midnight. I think they had to have a search party out for him, and he were at home. So they got him back in. But anyway, as she was walking back in from me telling her to have a look in telly room, she wanted some hand, sanitizer.
Yeah.
Where they have them, and there were one on this guy's bed, on the guy who's had to change his bed because his dad told him someone had died in it. It were on his bed. So she just goes up, says, sort of acknowledges him and gets some onto her hands like that. And as she turns to walk back towards Jesus' bed, the old bloke goes like that at her. I thought, what the fuck? What the fucking some cunt who looks like fucking Mel off of fucking Benidorm. I've got a picture on him. I don't mind fucking showing the racist cunt's fucking picture. Fucking dickhead.
Oh, is that why you were flicking a V? Because you were black?
Yeah, because you were fucking black. You were no other fucking... The fuck is that? That must be doing, man. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's the cunt. That's the cunt. He's fucking...
Yeah.
He's a fucking racist bastard. Well, do you know when fucking this is another one? Why? I mean, from before, when I went in before for operation, there were another kid who were across from me, and he said something to me, and I'm not sure how. I just didn't talk to him again after it. He just said something to me. He just went, "Oh, he's all right, my doctor. He's all right, even though he's a nigger." And I said, I didn't say it. I just shut fucking curtains. I don't want to. I don't want to fucking hang about with you. I don't want to be associated with such a fucking piece of crap.
And my daughter just had an almost opposite. Her other half has just had to spend a couple of days in hospital. She's had some kind of kidney thing going on. And while she's still not, she's far from 100%, actually being in hospital isn't doing her any good.
No.
So they're treating her as an outpatient. But she has spent a couple of nights in hospital. I think Wednesday night, she'd had some blood tests or something, and they said, she got a phone call. Can you get to the hospital? Well, I'm just going to watch a hockey game. I'll come later. No, you're going now. So there was obviously something wrong with these blood tests and stuff. Anyway, so my daughter's then telling me that there's this, she's in one of these 6 or 4 bed ward things, just like you were in, Jason, really.
8 bed, yeah.
About 8 or 10 in yours, though, in your bit, weren't there?
Yeah.
Anyway, my daughter's other half's not feeling good at all. Got this kidney thing wrong with her. looking and feeling really crap, laid on a bed. And I can't say the words that my daughter used. However, there was a rather large lady of Asian descent laid in the opposite bed who was just no hand over her mouth, nothing, doing the loudest farts ever, like literally as she walked past your bed, just like, who was apparently diabetic, and her sugars were something like 26 or whatever. I mean, you know, it should be 6 as far as I know. It should be about 6.
Between 4 and 7.
You what, sorry?
Between 4 and 7.
Yeah. And when the apparently when the snacks trolley came round, you know, biscuits, sweets, anything like that, yep. Anything healthy, no. And my daughter went up to one of the nurses and she said, excuse me, you know, my partner's laid there. She's clearly not well. And the woman opposite is doing absolutely nothing other than making her worse. Can you either put her in a room on her own or my other half in her, or just get rid of her? Because, you know, she's spreading these bloody germs everywhere. Oh, then the family were bringing in, you know, the traditional smelly food that just like makes everybody else feel ill.
Yeah.
And anyway, they're saying, oh, well, you know, she's... No. Look, at least get her to put her hand over her mouth. You know, it's just spreading germs, or pull the curtains round, or... Well, and they won't... And in the end, she said to him, you won't talk to her about anything because she's not white. And they said, well, you know, we could... And you know my daughter. You know what she's like, Jason. So guess what she did?
Cracked her.
Listen, you dirty motherfucker. What you're going to do is stop fucking coughing all over my other half. And laid into her.
She might have said it. Well, she does fucking right.
But the point is, the reason why the staff didn't want to talk to this woman is not... It was nothing to do with the fact that, you know, she was... she stunk... Smelly food, coughing and spluttering over everybody, just complete disregard for anybody else. No, they wouldn't talk to her about any of that just because she wasn't white. And I said, well, surely all of the nurses weren't white. I don't think I've been on a hospital ward, either visiting or in, where there haven't been, you know, some kind of mixture. And in fact, often, you know, there's black, there's Asian, there's
there's more.
Well, what I call Asian, you know.
Often there's more people that are not you know, not I won't say natural, but not from born in this country, shall we say?
Yeah, because we're a right old mixing pot, and you know, so they won't talk to this woman about anything just because they thought they might get into trouble about race. Which is just a ridiculous point. And there is one other thing I wanted to talk to you about, Jason, that I forgot, but I want to come back to it. You know, when you said to me that the reason why the ward that you were on had gone downhill was because they'd had to let go 6 specialist nurses, which means that, you know, the staff that are left behind to pick up the pieces and fill in the gaps, well, they're big gaps to fill. So they're never going to achieve it. So all that's going to happen is more people are going to end up coming back into hospital or spending longer in hospital because they haven't had the care that they need. False economy. But then yesterday, on one of the little bits of news that I saw or listened to, I was probably in the car or whatever, because you know I never consciously switch it on. Both leaders of the 2 main parties were saying how many nurses they were going to recruit because there was a shortage. No fucking shit, Sherlock. You know, and for the ones who were already in some kind of power, what the fuck? If anybody ever needed proof that they're not doing anything really, and they're not really in power, and that they're actually just puppets, is what have they done in the past 5 years?
Well, after my experience this time, I'm just hoping that this puts an end to it, at least for quite a long time anyway, because I went in a year ago, and it was the difference between then and now is fucking immeasurable. It's absolutely immeasurable. Like you said, the head nurse told me that they'd lost 6 nurses off that ward,
and that's just one ward.
Yeah, but they're having to use the reason I've got a ton of scissors somewhere anyway. Don't fucking knock it. Everyone keeps fucking nicking them because the single-use scissors, and now they use single-use.
Say that again.
The single-use scissors. They use the scissors that you use them once. That's it. Come out of a packet, you have your thing done, and then they're chucked away. Right, so that's scissors. So imagine how many pairs of scissors they go through in a fucking day.
Sure. Why do they not buy decent ones and then have an autoclave?
That don't make enough money, does it?
No, exactly.
They've got these companies. They've got these companies. They're part of these companies or the mates companies, and they'll give them. They say, "You want scissor fucking contracts? Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you've got." So it's every time a go. Every single time anything is done on you, it's a new pair of scissors. They now have fucking throwaway rip tourniquets. You know when they want to take your blood.
What?
They come off with like out of a box, come out, they snap it off, and they can put it on you.
So no elastic thing with a toggle on it.
No, they're not allowed, Dan. They've got to use the paper, and they come out. They're a bit like the thing that goes on your hand, only bigger. And it goes around your arm to make a tourniquet. Use it once, chuck it away. Fuck me, it's just fucking. It's incredible. It's incredible where. I'll tell you what has happened is that the health service was born out of helping people, and helping people for who couldn't afford it. They needed medical attention.
A lot of which was caused by the 2 world wars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's just they've just reduced it to. They've so annihilated the morale of the people working there. Yeah, for the money. It's all about money. It's all for the money. Mm. Let's say hello anyway to some people in the chat room. Unchick McGee. Unhick McGee. Sorry. Good evening to you, Unhick. Dinny's in as well. Evening, Dinny. I hope St. Pauli are going well under Joss Lukai. James Housing there, Blazing Stars. Keith M. Stewie's in as well. Ron Malcolm, Dinny, Super Leeds is in. He said that he mentioned that he lost his dad at 29, and that's a young age to lose your dad. Mm. So yes, with you on that, Super Leeds. Although I haven't, touch wood, lost my dad.
I lost my son when he was 10. We found him again, right? But
yeah.
Hey,
yeah. Exactly. But when you go back to NHS and you go back to, it seems that it's more important. The priority is that you've got to do this that's in this book in the way that it's said, and in the way that it's explained to you. You've got to do it that way, and there's no other way you can do it.
Because if you do, then you could be liable. It's like it's a cross between spending money, covering your arse, and then the patient care comes. Is third, and it's not it's not the people who actually do it for a living, like the nurses and doctors. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault at all.
Oh no, it isn't. But they're at the brunt.
Yeah.
And they've got these fucking people that it's especially that on that ward. It must be terrible because they've got these lads that are in that have been drug addicts, and they're still in there because they haven't got anywhere to go. Mm. The family won't have them back or whatever. The kid across from me, he was from Gleedless. He'd had his leg amputated. He'd been in 13 weeks. 13 weeks, and he were getting people hoping to get housing sorted so that he got somewhere to go and live.
Oh, okay.
But can you imagine? You've got housing, and then you've got that's got to be adapted as well because he's only got one leg. It's the fact that I've got somewhere to come home to is a miracle in itself. There's a lot of people that aren't lucky enough to be able to have anybody. Oh, perhaps they've not got anybody because they're a cunt. I don't fucking know. It could be any of them. Because believe me, I've met both. But they're in there and they're stuck in system, and they'll get out at some point, but it's going to take a very long time.
And I know a lot of the properties on Gleedless, and a lot of my masonettes, summer flats, and then there are some houses as well. But if he's a single lad and he's living in that area, chances are he's in a flat and they're going to struggle to, unless he's on a ground floor one, which isn't likely. But yeah. But again, it's ridiculous, isn't it? 13 weeks hospital bed, and all right, probably the first 4 weeks he should have been in, maybe, I don't know. But the rest of the time, that's a lot of waste. A typical case of, again, two systems not being able to talk to each other, even though they're part of the same big system. Housing and hospitals and social services and shit like that. But it's a shame, isn't it? Because the guy that's suffering is a poor guy who's had his leg off.
Yeah, he is. And there were a guy in there who were in last year when I was having my leg, who had his leg amputated at the same time as me, and he would been in and had his other one done. So, well, just from one time to it were more and more. It were getting more and more weird and surreal, and I was supposed to be having my dressing done once a day. I had it done on Saturday. I didn't get it done again until fucking Tuesday. It's supposed to be done every day. Webby's put. Webby's put. Whenever have you ever known a member of the public being a cunt? Plenty of them, Webby. You know that, mate. You know that. Oh, no, that's not it, is it? Oh, do you know it's right hard on this fucking laptop? This laptop's slow as fuck. There we go. There you go. The old cunt master with the cunt. Good evening to you, Webby. So, what about you? What's been on your mind this last couple of weeks while I've been in prison, shall we call it?
I have made a point of being aware of what BBC headlines are on any particular day. And there's always 5. And what I make a point of is just in my own head, listening to each one and then thinking to myself, okay, in the world that's presented as the world of how everybody else thinks it works, that could sound fairly plausible. But actually, if you even just think 2 basic things, or 3, money, including fractional reserve lending and, Webby's bit as well, and the fact that it's not our government that print it, and that there are 13 families that own everything. Even if you just think that, and look at any BBC headline, it just turns them into a pile of meaningless words, with somebody sat there repeating off an auto cue. And that's not journalism, is it? Journalism is finding a story out for the good of everybody. I thought that's what it was, but that's not what happens. But if you look at any BBC headline and just look at it and think, all right, money, 13 families, and who benefits? And each one, then, and you start to, in your own mind, look at it and think, well, it's just bollocks. It's just confusion. It's just,
It's
So I've made a point of doing that just kind of in my own head in the past few days, really.
We've looked at BBC headlines, and apparently there's been a stabbing or a shooting in London on London Bridge. And we are getting into silly season. And there's also been one in a department store in The Hague. So make of that what you will, if you can add them together and look and find something from it. Anybody just send it to me. I'll broadcast it for you, mate, because, I think it's absolute fucking nonsense. Just, we're into silly season now. It's going to start being terrorists, and, we're coming up to an election. Oh, God.
Well, that was the other thing that struck me as well on that thing they've had on today about that London Bridge thing. Oh, we're speaking to a member of the public. What do you think? Oh, yes, well, the shop that I was in lockdown. Nobody speaks English anymore. They don't say, well, yeah, the shopkeeper thought it'd be a good idea to lock us in, which I thought were good. No. We were in lockdown. They've all got these paramilitary sayings that they just repeated over and over and over and over until somebody locking the door. Oh, no, we're in lockdown. Oh, and it's been seen as terror-related. Well, how do they define terror? Because if a bank robber shoved a gun in my ear, I'd be terrorised.
You would.
If a 2-year-old stuck a gun in my ear, I wouldn't be as terrorised, but I still wouldn't be happy about it. But if what they think is a terrorist, I'm assuming they're meaning something political or religious or organised or whatever their latest definition is. What's the fucking difference? Whether it's a bank robber that stuck a gun in my ear or in their terms, terrorist. But they always manage to get in the word. Oh, they're treating it as terror-related.
Even if it's not, they'll say it's not terror-related.
Just to get the word in.
Pop it in your mind, yeah. So you're a terrorist, you're terror.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
As the Bush family say, tur.
Tur.
They don't look in the mirror, they look in a mirror.
Well, it's not their fault they're from Northern Ireland, is it?
What, the Bush family?
Yes, the Bush family, yeah. Tur. Northern Irish, isn't it? Terrorist.
Terror. No. I mean, as in George Bush.
No, yeah, I know that. But I'm just saying, the word you were saying, it sounded like they were from Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
I know the Texas drawl.
Oh, sorry, now I get it. You're having a go at my shitty impressions. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. No, the war on terror just means it's the war on the opposition, really.
Well, it's a perpetual, unending war.
Yeah.
You're never going to end terror, are you? It's like this.
No, exactly, and that's what they want, isn't it? It's just a. Oh, I tell you what, I did. What was I listening to? Can't remember. It might even have been something stupid like talk radio, and they got this. I think it was, and they got this woman on, and the irony behind this little story, I nearly pissed myself. Apparently, they've got this tradition in America called Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Which is like yesterday or today or something, whatever. I don't know. Don't understand. Don't get it, but I'm here to be educated. But now there's this tradition where the turkey farmers, because they eat a big turkey dinner apparently, or a lot of houses do.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's in America, and many people view it as more important than Christmas.
Oh yeah, apparently so. Yeah. And anyway, there's now this tradition, which started, can't remember, where they send 2 turkeys to the White House for the president, and one of them apparently is pardoned.
All right, a pardoned turkey.
And it goes back to the farmer. Okay? And apparently there's a vote to see which one should be pardoned. What the fuck? Only in America. But the irony of it is, these turkeys used to be eaten by the president, or they'd, I give it to somebody on the staff, but it would be consumed.
Right. The one that got the pardon?
No, not the one that got the pardon. The one that didn't get the pardon.
What happened to the one that got the pardon?
Pardon?
Yeah, what?
But the first president to ever pardon the turkey, guess.
Yes, Washington.
Guess. Which one?
I don't know, the left one.
No, not which turkey, which fucking president, you knobhead.
You just said Washington.
Oh, sorry. No. Bush Senior. And the irony of Bush Senior actually doing something to save a life rather than the millions of people that he had killed.
The
irony is just unbelievable. Turkey, but it wasn't a human. No, it was a turkey.
It was a turkey. And listen, there's a few football memories going on in the chat room. Keith M. has said he last game we went to in 1991, Man U versus Barcelona in Rotterdam. Well, I remember that because the week before that, Wednesday had beaten Man United in the Rumbelows Cup final and won it. So, yeah, I remember that as well. So,
I think the first and only professional football game I've been to, I was about, I don't know, got to be 45 years ago. And Leeds at Elland Road were playing Arsenal, and the crowd kept shouting Duncan McKenzie. That's all I remember.
Okay. Well, Duncan McKenzie played for Man City, I think. If
did
anyone could put me wrong, yeah, I think he did. He played for Man City. Probably
it was definitely Leeds because it was up at Elland Road, but.
Oh yeah, but it might very well have been Duncan McKenzie and Man City around about that time.
I thought it was Arsenal, but there you go. But 45 years.
Johnny, I've got your message, mate. I will look at that email. He sent us both a message with something attached to it. So,
is it a bottle of Jack Daniels?
It's not, is it? That's the bad thing in it about this. You can't get a bottle of Jack Daniel. You can't just hand each other a bottle of Jack Daniel.
It on an email.
Yeah,
that's bad, isn't it?
You will be able to soon when they do 3D emails.
I've just thought of something. I actually had a customer today say to me, "I'm going to have to vote, aren't I?" And I went, "What?" Well, it's illegal not to, isn't it? What? Well, you've got to, haven't you? And I don't know what to do. And I went, who's told you you've got to vote? Well, you have. It's law, isn't it? And I said, not that I'm aware of, no. I mean, I actually eventually, the crap they kept sending me for the... get on the electoral register. The last one they sent me, I sent it back with "fuck off" written on it, and they didn't send me out since. That was probably 3 or 4 weeks ago now. They didn't send out. But to actually hear somebody say that they think it's illegal not to vote, so the program works, doesn't it? When you've got people who actually think that genuinely, and she's a lovely woman. And she genuinely thought that, you have to vote. It's against the law not to.
That's what we're up against, isn't it? No, that's what we're up against.
Yeah.
We're up against people that are so deeply submerged in the fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's just the mindset of
the Matrix in the crap. Ooh.
Yeah, whatever they're told that comes out of a square box or Facebook must be true.
Oh, fucking hell, don't get me started on fucking Facebook. What a fucking joke that is. They're still trying, they're trying their hardest. First of all, they're trying their hardest to kill me. That's fucking obvious, isn't it?
Well,
they're not doing very well, though, are they?
No.
So no, but they are like sort of shadow banning. We're not getting even people that are subscribed are not getting notifications when we're on. So
Yeah.
we're up against it, but we're not that bothered, are we? I've had and somebody put in chat room earlier on that I looked like I'd had no sleep, but the fact is I didn't have no sleep last night. So I had some really bad pain and I have no sleep at all. I was down here, so I've been asleep most of the days. And it were about 8:30 when my missus woke me up and said. Are you doing your show? Because it's 8:30. So I have had some sleep, but yes, I was in need of sleep some time ago. So what are you voting then, Ade?
Sorry, what what am I going to vote?
Yeah, just imagine it would do with here and do one put to your head. What a gun put to your head.
And I had to put a cross in a box. I'd put a cross in every box, so it was wasted if I had to.
Yeah, but then they'd waste you.
What would have? It's not in me. I don't have that. I don't have a vote in me because why would anybody want to vote?
So it's okay. Fucking shoot me, man.
Well, I'd just do that and put a cross in it. If they said you got to vote for somebody, I'd shut my eyes and point my finger.
What? Do you know what day this election's on?
No, it's soon though, isn't it?
I think so.
Is it next Friday? Or Thursday or something? I don't know.
They're usually on a Thursday, aren't they?
Yeah, but they want about, I don't know. Do you know, honestly, that's how much fucking notice I take because you've got I can't even believe that people still think that the system, that the political system that is put in front of them on the TV, that they can still believe it's real.
You see, I think what's happened in this with this election, I think it's quite a crafty move if it is the case. But I think you've got a good point here. You've got Corbyn and you've got Johnson. Now Johnson's a fucking idiot, and he's he's got things in his past that people call him racist and all that. But we've all got things that people could dig up from somewhere.
Of course they could. Anybody.
Fucking mud at you and all that. And then, but he's apparently pro-Brexit. That's what it's going on, isn't it? Pro-Brexit. And then on the other side, you've got Jeremy Corbyn, and it's been excellently fucking mixed and broken up because there are people now who would traditionally vote Labour that are Brexiteers that won't vote for him.
Yeah.
They simply won't vote for him based upon that. And so they might not even vote at all.
Yeah, when you've got a system that's supposed to be democratic, well, democracy is, well, in its true form, is like gang rape because it's the majority inflicting their wishes on everybody or the minority. But there was a supposedly democratic vote where more than 50% of people said we want out of Europe. And it was an in-out, yes, no, black and white, not we want out if, or we want in if, it was out.
Yeah.
And yet now we've got the Social Democratic Party who are now saying that if they got into power, they would do everything, or any kind of power, they'll do anything to stop Brexit. And yet it was a democratic vote of the people that said that. And the justification of it is, well, yeah, but now people know more about it, they might want to change their mind.
Yeah,
and I think when you've got a Democratic Party that's ignoring a democratic vote, if that doesn't tell you that the political system is just one full of puppets who are doing and saying exactly what they're told to do and say, then you'd believe that fucking jelly was a fucking steak if I put it in front of you and told you, because it just can't be true. It cannot be true when you've got that happening.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? This election's interesting to watch, and that's all I'm going to do. The only participation is that I probably watch on the night, when all the results are coming in. I might watch then, just to have a look and have a laugh and see what people are. You get these giddy people fucking jumping about and dancing because some cunt that the fucking put leaflets through the door of has fucking won an election that probably about 18% of people turned out for anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably watch it unfold, but I don't. Apart from that, I've got no fucking interest whatsoever. As far as I'm concerned, whatever government comes out or all that shit that's up for it, then I'm still going to get fucked up the arse. So,
well, if you think about it, no matter who you vote for, the government still get in. So the same system is still there. Doesn't matter who's fucking team captain, because he's only doing what the board of directors tell him. And the board of directors are the people that you don't see. The 13 families. Boom, done. That's it. Political system explained in a nutshell. It's all bollocks.
No, I'll tell you what it is. A political system in a nutshell is bend over, open cheeks of your arse, and just wait for what's coming, because that's all it is. The fucking whole lot of it. And all these side arguments, the basic fact is you've got fucking Boris who's the Brexit vote's been split between two. It's just been split instead of all, he said he was going to put a Brexit party up, for everybody. But they thought, actually, look, bearing in mind what happened in last election when the fucking Brexit party, their very first election, we could very well end up with fucking Nigel Farage as Prime Minister. And so the Brexit party have decided they weren't going to stand against conservatives in different in certain fucking constituencies and that. It's such a we're playing this game of fucking. We're watching it. In fact, we're not playing it. We're watching it. We're watching this game. It's fucking all unfolded out in front of us. You'll get people that turn up and then disappear, and then they'll be here and they'll disappear, and we're just watching it, and we're just taking it all in, and we're just taking that as read. We're just saying, right, that is our reality. That's the reality that we live in. And people will say that. No, you'll say, well, fucking democracy don't work. They'll go, oh, well, that's the reality that we live of the world we live in. Fuck off, reality of the world we live in. Fucking reality of the world you're living in is different to mine. In the world you're fucking living in, you can fucking, you can fucking run off. The world I'm living in, I can't. So don't give me that fucking word. It's the world we live in. It's done on fucking purpose. There's a reason for it.
Everybody's got their own map of the world,
one fucking leg, and the other one's fucked. And fucking, and your reason is, it's just real. That's just reality. That's just the nature of reality. It's fucking not. Change it. You've got to change it, and you fucking ignore it, and you're so much better off. I've not watched in hospital. I've not watched anything in hospital. I'll tell you what I've watched in hospital. I watched I like them gold. When they're digging up gold miners and all that.
Oh yeah, the Australian thing.
There's an Australian one, and there's a couple of American ones, Alaska ones. And I watched the whole series of them, of a brand new one that's just starting to just being advertised as coming out on in this country on one of Discovery channels.
Right.
And I've watched the entire series all the way through, and it was really interesting.
You haven't been using an application on your tablet, have you?
No, mate, no. I bought them all in good faith.
Yeah, would you? Yeah.
I bought them all in the good faith of the kid in the next bed who was Asian, and he assured me that it was his cousins, and it was definitely working. Yeah,
it was nothing to do with titanium TV that I sideloaded onto your tablet for.
No, we're not doing that.
No.
And I mean that's sincere.
And the fact that you were running a hooky VPN as well, so that you could use the hospital's Wi-Fi.
Well, do you know the fucking even they put Wi-Fi in, which is great. I mean, I've been in where there's no Wi-Fi, and it's a fucking nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah, but you were in the basement. I mean, literally, that ward is the basement, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's no phone signal at all, and you're just fucking completely isolated. When they put Wi-Fi in, it's great, but it blocks video, so nurses can't fucking sit watching Thriller on video on YouTube, instead of saving Mr. Fordham down road in bed 8. You know what I mean? Who's convulsing?
Yeah.
It's so they block it all. You just get a VPN, and I'd got my Sky Go app, which meant that I could watch Sky, and I watched a bit of football in there. But I didn't watch any news. I can't really fucking be arsed with it.
I know. Oh, that was the other one. The other, they've been asking people. So, what do you think is the key issue for the general election? Well, clearly it's plastic bags, because apparently we buy 52 bags for life each a year now. Or it could be the shooting on London Bridge. That could be the key issue for the election. Or the shooting could be just to kind of take your mind off the fact that 96 poor people who died at Hillsborough nearly 30 years ago still haven't got any fucking justice. It could have been done to cover that story or to make it disappear further into the background.
I wanted to mention that, but you carry on.
I'm going to let you come back to that because you know much more about that than I do. Sorry, I get a bit lumpy in the throat when I even think about that. But when they were asking all these people what they thought the elections, well, it's obvious. It's about climate change, and we have to do something about climate change. Well, you're right. There is climate change. But for the people who say it's all caused by humans, that's, it's a bit like saying that 2 fleas on a dog were the reason why the dog died. It's bollocks. Completely stop using plastic where we can. Recycle stuff. Even though financially that's a big bloody scam as well. I mean, properly recycle it. Or reuse. I mean, I'm sat at a desk that's made of scaffolding boards. The stand that I've got is it a TV or a big computer monitor? A 55-inch TV on is just made of wood. And I mean, lumps of wood. It's not even screwed together. It literally is. Lumps of oak piled on top of each other. That's recycling, proper recycling. But this whole climate bollocks. And yeah, we should stop digging things out the ground that took 1 million years to get there or whatever, and that we dig out in that much of a second and use. All right, stop. I completely agree with all of that. But please don't ask me to believe that that's why, we need to vote for somebody because they'll do more about the human-caused climate change. And somebody who I used to have a lot of respect for, I now think is a complete dick. Chris Martin, Coldplay.
Oh yeah, fucking hell, God! Did you not know he was a dick? Fuck, where have you been?
But he's one of the funniest men ever. His sense of humor is just so dry. You howl with laughter listening to him. Right? I was once in a room where I wasn't part of the same conversation, but he was there, and he was fucking hilarious. But he wasn't even trying to be, or if he was, he was like a complete ironic and hilarious. But then yesterday, I heard him, oh, well, I think I want to do the first completely carbon neutral album. What?
What did you do with that?
And I'm thinking, this man's clearly intelligent. He's clearly incredibly
gay,
industrious within his own mind, and he comes up with these songs, and you know, he's so creative and does all that, and so his brain is, he's not fucking Stig of the Dump, you know. And then he comes out with some bollocks like that, and I just thought, that's it, I'm done.
They all do it, don't they? They all do it. It's all virtue signaling to others. And
yeah, but is it? You know, is he now one of the ones who's been in the industry that long for him to carry on having his, or be permitted to have his career continue? He's now got to start towing the line and say the shit they want him to say, and he's now got to sell his soul to the devil. Is that how it works? He's
got a choice, hasn't he? He must have made enough money to be able to go, right, I don't want it.
Yeah.
You can call me dead. Give me the old George Michael treatment.
Yeah.
So there's always that. I've never had any time for fucking Chris Martin. I always thought he was a bit of a tosser. But
his missus was fit. Till she fucked off.
Well, yeah. Gwyneth Paltrow, weren't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's fucking. It's this bandwagon that they're all on, and the more they'll sell the soul, the more they'll fucking, the further they'll get.
Yep.
And George Michael, for God's sake, wouldn't sell his soul to any fucker.
That's right.
He was one of the fucking most generous blokes in fucking world.
Yeah.
Doing all these good deeds and going unnoticed, unrecognised. Wanted to be anonymous on them all. Yeah. Including giving somebody money to for him to have IVF when he'd seen him on This Morning.
That's right.
You know what's he doing watching This Morning? Were he gay or something?
When I worked in Chesterfield office, there was a lovely lass who worked there, and she was. When office staff had been there long enough to know the systems inside out and could be an incredible help to you, but they were also young enough and alert enough to want to learn computer skills. And I mean, then it was all about, touch typing and da-da-da-da-da. There was none of the voice stuff. And she was great. Lovely, lovely woman. And she'd got this George Michael calendar next to her desk. And every week I'd go in and say, oh, it's all right, only another 9 days or how many ever days, so she could turn it over to the next month. And I go, you haven't been peeping at your George Michael picture to see what's for next month, have you? And she'd go, yes, I've looked at them all. And every week I'd say to her, you do know he's gay, don't you? No, he isn't. No, really, honestly, he is. No, he isn't. And then, of course, when it came out that he was gay, I walked in the office and I just went, I'm saying nothing. And she went, get out.
That's your fault.
Yeah, because shoot the messenger. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault he's gay. You are the problem. You went over there and
who fucking cares anyway? But it's the fact that I think she saw him as a sex symbol. Which is, hey, that's the industry, isn't it? That's, then that's was the industry. Don't tell anybody you're gay, and then I can remember my dad asking me if I thought Freddie Mercury was gay. And I said, no, he said, do you think that Freddie Mercury bloke's a pufter? He said.
Well, you knew what he meant, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I know what he meant. Yeah. Although that's probably one of the most insulting things that you could ever say to a gay man. But and I can remember saying to him,
"Why are you saying it to me and all listeners?"
Yeah. And I said, Dad, the band's called Queen. What do you think? Well, I'm not really sure, but I think he might be. So, but yeah. But who cares? Who cares? It's just getting back to the woman in the hospital bed. It wasn't that she was not white that was the problem. That was why people wouldn't tell her to stop what she was doing. The things that she was doing were wrong. It weren't the fact that she wasn't white wasn't the thing that was wrong. The thing that was wrong is that she was being completely inconsiderate to everybody else. Twat. Anyway, you wanted to talk about Hillsborough.
Yeah, I did want to talk about Hillsborough and quite a lot about. I've seen a lot of things on social media, Facebook, Twitter, etc., about Duckingfield and the families who feel that they've been betrayed, they've not got justice. But what I'd want to say to them is Duckingfield wasn't the one. Duckingfield was put in there to take this heat. That's the reason why he was put in there, whether he knew about it or not. That's the reason why he was put in there.
What you're saying is he's been made a patsy.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, bear in mind the year before it was the same game, the same two teams. Okay. And the same procedures. You know, they had same ends, and they've got checkpoints, 3 checkpoints before anybody got anywhere near Hillsborough. 3 checkpoints, checking the tickets, checking that they've got no booze on them or all like that. And there were 3 checkpoints. They got through them checkpoints. They did the operation went well. The game went without a hitch. So the following year, what do they do the following year? They stitch up the guy who did it the year before, and they bring in this guy, David Duckingfield, and he becomes match commander. Now, David Duckingfield had never, ever done before. He'd never managed an operation at a sports venue at all ever before. He'd never done anything. He knew nothing about football. When he was at the interview, the press conference, when he was said he was going to be match commander, he didn't even know Nottingham Forest's name. He just said Nottingham. He didn't even, because he didn't know the name. That's why he had no interest in football. So he was made scapegoat. Scapegoat.
That's easy for you to say. Hey!
Scapegoat.
Yeah.
He was made a scapegoat, and I have got a couple of interviews that I've done with Tony Farrell, but one on Hillsborough as well, which he'll tell you exactly what he believes, and I believe as well, because it just sounds stupid to take off a bloke who'd the previous year had run a perfect operation and put in this fucking bloke who knew nothing about football crowds, knew nothing, didn't put any of them safeguards in, none of them, and that's why we ended up with what we've got. And I think the conclusion that Tony came to was that it was meant to happen, but it wasn't meant to happen on that scale. So it was supposed to be like a crush, where perhaps a few people got injured, minor injuries and stuff. But it weren't. But it turned into something different. That's what Tony says.
Yeah.
I just like truth about it. But he says a guy called Peter Jackson is to blame. A guy and this Peter Jackson at the time when it was clear that people were being killed, and he was in the police box at the game, and he was under a table crying. So it's just it's very interesting. Just find the YouTube. It's on YouTube anyway.
Just for the sake of anybody who's listening who don't know, Tony Farrell was a civilian who worked for South Yorkshire Police, and the first time I met Tony was at one of our meetings in Sheffield. And at first, you didn't recognise him, did you, Jason? Because all of a sudden he'd become Father Christmas. You know, long, really straggly white hair and full beard, and he wasn't. You know, that wasn't how most people remembered him. He was quite, smart. Always wore a suit and whatever when he was at work, and clean shaven and short hair. And I know you nearly didn't recognise him.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't recognise him on way in. It was one of them talks we did with UK Column.
Yeah, that's right. And then later on, we actually had Tony on to do a talk of his own, which didn't end up being the talk that either of us thought he was going to give. We thought he was going to tell us all about Hillsborough, and it didn't work out that way. But for those listening, Jason, Tony actually wrote. Just tell me what the report was that he was told to write, and what they didn't like about it.
Well, it was principal intelligence analyst at South Yorkshire Police. So what he did is he went into police forces and he wrote reports based upon the danger, the risk of there being a terrorist attack in that area, and then they would then go. Okay, so this is the intelligence analyst has written this report, and so we're going to need another $300-400 million quid for this station or whatever. And that's what he did. So we were working alongside him. We were working right alongside him, and he did have some good intel from people that were around at that time. Yeah, so that's what he was doing, and. He was at South Yorkshire, and he wrote. He wanted again another. What would you call them? What do they call them when they? I fucking used to hate having to do them. Oh God, what do they call them? What do they call them? You go in somewhere and you before you have a. Come on, someone tell me.
What?
Chat room. I'm trying to work out that. Anyway, so. He writes a report for South Yorkshire Police, and it's just before he started writing the report. He saw online Muad'Dib's 7/7 ripple effect.
That's right, he did, yeah.
Yeah. So
Muad'Dib wasn't called Muad'Dib then. What was he called?
No, he was called Muad'Dib then. He called him. It's John Anthony Hill. His
Anthony
name.
Hill, yeah, Joe.
He's from Sheffield.
Yeah.
And he if you look him up, he's been in and out of prison and all sorts based upon all this stuff. Yeah. So he were so Tony sees this video. And then writes a report for South Yorkshire Police saying, "Well, there's no danger whatsoever. There's no danger whatsoever, because all terrorist attacks are done by governments."
And that's what was amazing about his report, because of course when they read that, they went, "Fuck."
Yeah, he went, "Oh, off you go." It's a little bit like they got a senior police officer to write something about drugs, and he wrote a report saying legalise them all.
Yeah, so they got rid of him, didn't they? He was the drugs czar, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he's gone.
Yeah, never to be thought of again, although the guy was probably speaking a lot of bloody truth. Yeah.
So Tony's been in the middle of all that. But the Hillsborough interview that I did with him I think it were. He'd not done an interview for about 4 years. If you look on YouTube, you'll find him everywhere from years ago, on a lot of Edge Media stuff.
Yeah.
But he's don't do very many interviews, and I think I probably did last one with him. So maybe I'll try and seek him out, see where he is, and see if he wants to come back on and have a chat with us about that, about Hillsborough.
Yeah, we ought to get him to do that, and just get him to do a Hillsborough specific chat with us.
Yeah. Well, that's what he did when I had the conversation with. I remember we recorded it because I recorded it on a Saturday morning and up in that spare room. But yeah, we just talked about Hillsborough. There were none of that other stuff. No sheep fields and no fucking burning bushes and shit like that. So yeah, it's. Was 7/7 2005? Yeah, that was the date. 7/7.
Yeah, that's right. Because he'd watched Ripple Effect, and then they kind of got. But they've done a couple of other things since then as well, haven't they?
Well, there's a film on YouTube called Hillsborough Ripple Effect.
Yeah, that's right.
If you want to have a look at that it's a couple of hours, but you can take it in, in doses, half an hour here, half an hour there. and you won't go far wrong. But it's full of information. But that's Tony. Tony's just a hive of information. I remember one time he read
He's encyclopedic, isn't he?
whatever that means, yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Well, yeah, I met him in town for a cup of tea. Back in day, I mean, I was talking about
No
6 or 7
no
years
wine.
Ago. Eh?
No wine.
No fucking wine. No, it was a Monday.
No loaves or fishes.
Anyway, so we went for this cup of tea, and he says, "I've got a fucking." He says to me, "He says I've got a meeting tomorrow. I'm going down to London tomorrow. I've got a meeting." I said, "Oh," he says, "Yeah, it's with Michael Shrimpton. You've heard of Michael Shrimpton, haven't you?
Yeah.
He's a QC.
Oh, you're right. But no, what case did he do?
He went to prison, didn't he? Because he went to prison for something to do with the you remember the fucking that spy that were found in Baghdad.
Oh yeah.
The spy. It was something to do with that.
Oh, he'd fastened himself in a bag and killed himself, hadn't he? That's right. Yeah.
That's right. He killed himself and then fastened himself in a bag.
Yeah.
Outside. So yeah, he actually went to prison for something to do with that. Because he was, and he's a bit, shall we say, eccentric.
Yes.
So he's, sorry, I fucking thought there was someone behind me. He's a bit eccentric.
Passionate.
He talks everything. All that he talks about is like government, special forces, black ops, and all this sort of stuff. But it all goes back to the damn Jerrys.
Right.
So it's the German intelligence services. They've done this. The German intelligence, the Jerrys. So it's just I need something to record him with. So I got this old iPod on me. So I lent him that, and I don't think I got iPod back, but the talk on it were a bit odd to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Jerrys. It was the Jerrys.
Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it? It's the people that we come across. And again, everybody's got their own map of the world because it's like anything. It doesn't matter who you watch, who you listen to. If you do agree with everything they say, there's something wrong. You're probably not thinking enough for yourself. It's like, I don't believe everything that Tony Farrell tells me. But a lot of what he says is bang on. And, for a man that was in the thick of it with the South Yorkshire Police, why would you not believe him? Because he was the man. And let's face it, it's not only been Hillsborough, has it? It's not the first time South Yorkshire Police have ended up in the news. So why wouldn't we? But and it's like if I listen to David Icke, I don't think everything that David Icke says is true. But again, a lot of it I do. And if we do think that everything that somebody says is true, then you're probably not thinking enough for yourself. But that was the other thing I meant to mention to you, Jason. When I came looking for you in your hospital bed, I said to a member of staff, "Excuse me, could you please tell me where Jason Holmes is?" And he said, "Holmes, as in Holmes." And I went, "What?" He said, "Sherlock." And I went, "No, Watson." And he went, "Ah." He said, "Holmes as in Sherlock." And I went, "No, as in Watson."
Well, I've only had him back a couple of days. We didn't want him back just right at the beginning when my foot was still really sore. So he's back now, oh, you little dog. With your daddy. See, playing with him is much better than watching fucking some cunt on fucking telly telling me a bastard fucking bunch of lies. Yeah. And another fucking bunch of bastards. Then report.
But you got to pay to watch. Don't forget, you got to pay to watch it. You got to pay to watch it.
Yeah, well, they can fuck off. It's about time fucking stood up, isn't it? It is, though, isn't it? What are we going to do? Are we just going to take it? I know I can't fucking stand up, but believe me, I've been here on my fucking mobility scooter, We need to take the cunts down.
Have you seen what's going on in Iraq? Well, have you seen what they want us to believe is going on in Iraq? Whether it's true or not, I don't know, because I've not
no
been.
idea. I've not seen no.
I mean, basically, it's not civil war. It's basically the government against the people. And all these young guys are writing and saying, no, we don't just want this, I don't know if they call him a president or whatever, to step down. The whole lot of you can fuck off, because otherwise we're going to keep burning all these government buildings, and we're going to keep coming out every night and trashing things until you all fuck off. And if you don't all fuck off, we're going to come in and we're going to drag you out.
Well, there you go. That's
basically what they're doing in Iraq. It says on the telly.
Right.
Not being. How do I?
No, you can't tell. You can never tell, can you? I mean, fucking BBC. Look, we've got a fucking pedo, fucking prince, the old pedo fucking prince, and they all hang about with pedos. It's amazing, isn't it? He hanging about with Epstein. Fucking Charles hanging about with fucking Savile and God knows fucking what. Queen being alone with fucking Rolf Harris. I bet they had a fucking kid in the middle of them, the dirty bastards.
Yeah, I mean, for everybody who says, "Oh yeah, but the royal family don't they do a lot of good for country?" And my sister says that, and my sister's lovely and incredibly intelligent, and I love her to bits. But she'll go, "Yeah, but you're a conspiracy theorist," and I go, "Yeah, okay, whatever." But she thinks the royal family is wonderful. But then you think, hang on a minute, Rolf Harris, Queen, Savile. I mean, Savile wasn't just a pedo. He's the fucking Pied Piper.
He weren't just a pedo. He was the M&S pedo.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was the fucking hunter-gatherer, the provider. You know, I mean, if there's a man who should have been written about fucking loaves and fishes, he's the fucking one, because he could make it happen. You know, I mean, a man who was put in charge of a fucking hospital. Hello?
Not only that, like a fucking a mental hospital.
Yeah, where there are vulnerable people.
At a mental hospital.
Yeah, including that lady was in there, wasn't he? And then you go, hang on a minute. So that's the Queen, Rolf Harris, pedo. And then you go Savile, Prince Charles, pedo, Prince Andrew. Oh, who's this other guy? Epstein. He's another fucking pedo. It's not like they've suddenly got, one gay friend or one pedo friend, or it's fucking full of them. And they're just the ones that we hear about. So when people look at the royal family, they go, yeah, but and she got lovely corgis, and I bet she has a cream tea every afternoon. But does she put the cream on top of the jam or the jam on top of the cream? Because that would depend on whether it was a Devonshire cream tea or a Cornish cream tea. And ain't she got lovely she's just an old lady and it's only the power that it's not real power that she's got, is it? Are you fucking kidding? Oh, it's only ceremonial. Hang on a minute. HMS, Her Majesty's ship. Her Majesty's government, not the people's government, Her Majesty's government. Her Majesty's forces. Her Majesty's revenue and customs. Her Majesty's, and we can keep going with this all day. And then people go, yeah, but she ain't got any real power, has she? It's just ceremonial. Yeah, right, okay. But if people still think that the bloody royal family and everything is just fucking hell, come on. They're shagging kids. What more? What more do people need to know? And to still look at it and go, oh, well, yeah, but aren't they good? Because they ride around in a gold coach. Well, fucking sell the gold coach and feed all the poor kids that keep bombing. And do that instead. Anyway, you're listening to a Raconteurs rant, which started off as Jason having come out of hospital and got to the other side of his thing, and it looks like he's back again. He come back, mate. Oh, no, he's gone again. Oh, no, he's here again. Now, I can't see the chat room, can't see what anybody's posting, so Jason, tell us.
Oh, dear me. I don't know what happened there.
Have you had a power cut? Because it's awfully dark.
Yeah, it's... I'm on wrong camera and everything.
Oh,
chat room, sorry about that. I've just got fucking chucked out. Gary Glitter, yeah. I presume we're talking about pedos.
Yeah, because what I said was, just as you went, Queen, Rolf Harris, Prince Charles, Savile, Prince Andrew, Epstein. I mean, this isn't hang on. If you were digging for gold, three's a patch. You know? And the whole fucking family is clearly entwined in all this shit.
They're happy for a long time. Thomas, what's his face? Thomas Hamilton, he were going to do something. He were going to blab that cunt, and then they had to fucking.
And then yeah. As soon as anybody wants to say something.
Well, he ended up being blamed for. There we go. That's better, isn't it? He ended up being blamed for the blame.
But yeah.
Well, either did it or he were blamed for it, but whatever.
Yeah. Or what we'll do, we'll and that's all they do. They just discredit. But God, how can people actually sit and watch a program? And it's called a program for a reason. Program. And their own fucking box on the wall that they've paid for, and the TV subscriptions tells them 3 prominent members of the so-called royal family are at least close friends with kiddie shaggers. Now, somebody in my circle of friends may be a paedophile. I don't know. But I don't think there'd be 3 out of the people that I know. I mean, there might be 1. I don't know. But I can't imagine there being 3. You know, not in the same, well-known names and all. So, for anybody who doesn't think that they're up to the fucking neck in it, come on, wake up. They obviously are.
Yeah, and apparently we're Epstein that paid off, what's her name, that fat gingerbread that used to be married to him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He paid all her debts off. Because weren't she about $2.5 million in the hole or something?
A lot more than that. So I think she was about
a lot more.
10 million up to about 10 or 12 million, something like that. But then they tried to tell us that she fucking paid it back by writing them books about that.
Yeah, that shit book that she wrote, yeah. Or weren't she doing illustrations for people at one bit? And signing them, and I can't. Why is that in my head? Might be true, I don't know. I seem to remember that. But yeah, that's true, yeah. That's what that came out as well, that he'd paid her debt off for her.
Yeah, but we're in a different time now, aren't we? Where rather than covering it up, they're trying to make it acceptable.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a fucking horrible road we're going down.
I believe the royal family have always been down that road. It's just that, it's taken us a while to catch up and realise.
Well, yeah, of course they have. Fucking look, they've been at it for years and years. Lord Mountbatten, who were Charles's favourite uncle.
I'm going to say, yeah, that was Charles's favourite uncle. And of course, the Maxwells are up to the tits in it, because when he won't do what he was told, he got lost off the foot of his boat. Yet his daughter's the one who's involved with the Epstein thing as well, isn't she? And just fucking, yeah, that's another one who was on This Is Your Life. The same week that he nicked all that money out of the fucking Daily Mirror pension scheme.
Oh, Robert Maxwell, yeah. He fucking did it, didn't he? Why anybody who put money into a pension, it's fucking beyond me. When you got fucking twats like that. But then he fell off his boat, but he probably weren't doing as he were told. Otherwise, he's probably somewhere else now anyway.
He's probably living on Epstein's Island.
Yeah. You must have found him. We can't find out, like, you know, but we found this fucking big fat old man fucking sunbathing.
It's a bit like what was it somebody said the other day. It's a bit like you know, he had the worst exit other than Harold on fucking Baywatch, not Baywatch, fucking Home and Away.
Right.
You know, when they found his glasses on the on a rock at the beach and assumed they'd been swept out to sea.
Oh, poor old Harold and all.
And then apparently he came back.
Did he come back? Oh,
apparently.
man. Yeah. That's pleased me.
You know, Robert Maxwell, if you're out there.
Yeah, you want to come on Raconteurs News and tell us where you've been for the last fucking God knows how long. What, about 1990, so 30 years.
Yeah, you're right. Battenberg, sorry.
Mountbatten.
Mountbatten, yeah. He was another one. His head and shoulders were found on the beach, weren't they? Bum.
Yeah, that's it.
He weren't doing as he's told, so he were. But he was Prince Charles's mentor, wasn't he?
Do you know, it's fucking strange. Strange doesn't even fucking come close. It don't even come close.
But I think my point is that none of this is secret anymore. So anybody who doesn't know and then put two and two together, there's no fucking excuse. You know, all this information's there, and yet they'd rather fucking put a like on a picture of somebody who's taken a picture of a fucking Cornish pasty covered in beans, because that's the meal they're about to eat, and it'll get 47 likes. For fuck's sake.
It's fucking... there was something else I wanted to talk about now. I'm looking at my pad, but these pads are like old. I've got that much stuff just written on them. Let's just
it's because we need more scissors. That's what it is.
Just take some borderline BBC useless wankers I've got written on here. California fires, ribs.
Oh, yeah. See, I've worked it out. What we need is a pipeline running from Rotherham and Doncaster out to California. Fucking job done. Job done. Then they've got an endless supply of water and there'll be enough big fires like that anymore. That's all they need to do. But, of course, what they do, they'll put it in the news and, of course, what's it down to? It's down to human-caused climate change and carbon. And we need more wind farms and we can't have carbon.
You can't have carbon, but, you know, when we're making batteries for your fucking plastic cars, they'll be dug out in Canada, then they'll be shipped over to China to be fucked about with, and then to Japan, and I saw it on fucking Top Gear or something.
That's right, they did, and they showed this map where all these things came from. Was there something like 87 countries?
It was sort of ridiculous, wasn't it?
And one component actually left and landed back in the same country 4 times before it was finally shipped, and that was for the Toyota Prius.
Fucking ridiculous.
Madness.
Then again, it's like anything else. We live in this false world. What we do is we go on Facebook and people create these false images of themselves, because nobody's going to post a fucking good image of this, a regular, a truthful image of themselves, are they? Because then they just like twats because they shouted at kids this morning, or they did this, or they did that, or they did fucking other. Right? So, but that's the life. It's online. It's not fucking real.
Yeah.
So then you get that's not real. So you accept that that's not real, but that's a big and important part of your life, and that is the social media and stuff. And you know that you know that picture you just took. 2 minutes later, you got a fucking gob like a fucking smacked arse. You know what I mean? And but you've posted it and you've had a few likes and it's sort of made you feel a little bit better. So you pop that there. Then you're able to take in fake politics because you know it's fake, but you get involved with it because it sort of crosses that boundary between fake and real life.
Yep.
and you're watching it. So the more fake you can make things around people that people rely on and people like, people use a lot, the more fake you can present to them, and then have them think that that's true. It's fucking such a simple system,
Yeah.
and yet, and we're fucking doing it like we're doing it, but we're not doing out about it. Because kids, the generation that we've got to get to, is probably this generation now that's just gone. The millennials, I think they're fucked. They're just done. And if they get in charge of the world, then we're all fucking fucked, aren't we? Because we'll all have like fucking safe spots and all this sort of shit. And I live in a slum. It's all right. You've got a safe spot and it's here in someone else's slum.
Yeah, but don't forget, you've got to start every sentence with "so."
Yes, they do, don't they? People do that. I've noticed that.
Oh, it fucking drives me insane. Absolutely fucking insane. What's your name? So, my name is fucking So. So what?
What do you do?
Fucking So.
What do you do for a living? So I'm a prostitute on Manningham Road in Bradford, and so I get lots of diseases.
Yeah.
Oh, no. They do it. They do. So this, so that, so fucking other.
So. Fuck off.
I know. It's fucking fuck off with yourselves.
Yeah, fuck yourselves off.
And you don't rate me fars.
Yeah. So. Hang on. Oh no. Oh no.
What?
I don't know if you know what that means. Where are we? You probably can't see that.
No.
Now that means that the Washington Capitals are losing 1-0 to Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh man, that's fucking upset me right bad, that has.
You see, I mean, I know you love your football. The only sport that has ever really grasped me is ice hockey. And my English team at the minute are top of the league, but they've played a couple more games than 2 or 3 of the other top teams, so that could well change. Which is the Sheffield Steelers. And every other team in the league hates the Sheffield Steelers. But my American team is the Washington Capitals, who won the Stanley Cup last year, which was mega. But they're playing tonight, which in America, what are they, 5-6 hours behind? 6 hours, maybe 7 hours. 6 hours. 6 hours now, I think. Yeah, and they're losing 0-1, which is not good.
Who against? Who are they playing? Give them a name.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
Tampa Bay Lightning. So it's Tampa Bay Lightning. So it's Washington Capitals 0, 1 to the other one team.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
Tampa Bay Lightning. Yeah, see, yeah, I could do that easily. Be one of them presenters on one of them sports things.
Well, I used to do it, didn't I, down at Sheffield? So yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that's happening. So I now feel the urge to see if I can find the game on some hooky sports channel. I'm going to find out which channel it's on and go on the Tinterweb and watch it. I think in a bit. Games generally get interesting second or third period. I think games are different out there because football's kind of one goal can really make a huge difference, and often it's the winning score. Whereas in basketball, it's always 100 beats 99 because it's you score, we score, you score, we score, you lose, we win, and that's what basketball is, which is why I can't watch it. But with ice hockey, you can often have a game where there can be 2 goals in it with 2 minutes to go. And it's the team that were 2 goals down that can win the game. So a goal doesn't really make the game. It can make it interesting, but it doesn't make the game. But I know in football, it often, it can. But, I've been to ice hockey games where it's ended 0-0. Not many, but I have been to them. But typically it'll be 2 or 3 goals each, or 5, or and I've been to games where it's been 15 and 16-0, which is not a game; it's just more an annihilation, really.
Yeah.
And they're followed up by legalized violence for the team that were losing. So yeah, hockey games tend to get more interesting. Sort of, I feel anyway, halfway through and towards the end of the game, because it can get a bit tactical. But anyway,
well, Wednesday are playing at the moment. That doesn't sound too bad, the ice hockey.
No, right, okay. Well, you know what I know about football is just like.
Yeah. So, are we done then? What are we doing? An hour and 50. Well, yeah, but at least it was a proper so, weren't it?
It was a proper so. It was the correct use of the word so. Yeah.
That's right.
But for all those people listening, stop fucking saying so at the beginning of every fucking sentence. Because it's incorrect use of the English language.
And we love the English language here at Raconteurs News.
Of course we do.
We do. Well, I'm getting a bit sweaty. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to cause my son to have another joint, and then I shall relax and watch something on television. And I suppose you're going to be doing the same, aren't you?
Well, so, see which
see where your game's on.
See which sports channel the Americans on, and then not that I'm going to go on to Mobdro, which is sideloaded,
No.
and watch a live sports feed on the internet. Not that I'm going to do that, because I wouldn't, and I wouldn't have a VPN covering it up either. Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
We're just not that sort of people, mate. We're not that sort of people.
No, we're not that sort of people at all.
All right. Well, listen. Thanks to everybody for listening to us tonight. Everyone in the chat room. It's been a feisty chat room again. I see Super Leads in there, and all the usual and some unusual ones as well. We are going to call this night for tonight. I'm getting a bit sweaty, but I've still got my leg, and that's the most important thing. It's still fucking in us though. So we'll see you when we see you, and we'll try to be a little bit more regular. And that's what she said.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
See you later.